Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of Family Home Improvements here. We're doing a little side edition. You know, sometimes David and I, we like to talk stuff, and you know, normally we're always saying we should record this stuff. You know, it's good information. You know, we're always talking because I get a lot of service calls. I have to deal with the clients all the time.
He gets most of the phone calls, and then I got to go out and visit with them and figure it out.
And they're telling me, hey, you know, like the number one question, like I get, like recently I had one in the city of Los Angeles, Texcote peeling. Like they called me, hey, I thought this was going to peel. Why did it peel?
Okay. So what, they're complaining about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were like, why did it peel? Look, here's a sample. I went there and got it.
Okay.
I did a video. I showed it to you.
Right. So most of the time when this stuff is peeling is typically it's because of the installer. So this is even a job that we went, it was a Texcote Los Angeles job. And this was a job that we went to where actually the roof was leaking in the fascia boards. And it was all deteriorated, but our material was still on there because we primed it correctly. You can still even see the wood fibers that are in there. Yeah. There's still a couple of little termite turds right there.
So it actually doesn't peel by itself.
No,
it was caused water damage because of the roof. It had nothing to do with this.
That one didn't have anything to do with this. And also, you know, Texcote has, let's say, a bad name because people just go ahead and hire anybody and they don't put it on correctly. Yeah. So it's got to be power washed. It's got to be flex patched from the factory. Yeah.
And the primer.
Then
classic primer, 27 right, Evan, for wood.
Yeah, right? For wood. And then you come back and you sand it, then you spot prime it again, and then sometimes you need a couple of coats of like a trim coat.
So when we run into someone that had a bad job, it's usually they use like a kilt primer and then they put Texcote on top.
Sometimes they mix primers. They're just hiring whoever off.
They water down their Texcote.
You know, just a fly by night. Subcontractor.
Oh man.
Yeah, so the actual material that gets done is a great material if it's applied correctly. I have it on my house since 2003. We're in 2000.
Hey, can I use this on my car?
No.
I need a paint job. Come on, this is pretty sturdy stuff.
That stuff's for house, for wood, for stucco.
For stucco.
Yeah, it's breathable, stretchable.
Right. So I can't paint my car with it.
So, you know, there's even like what they would say, Texcote nightmares, and why does it peel?
In the whole last year, I did not get any phone calls from jobs that I've been doing. The one we got from Los Angeles was a job from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's pretty long time ago.
And we went and did their customer service.
And it had nothing to do with our peeling. It had to do more with the paint.
More with the roof.
More with the roof
leaking.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, Texcote paint, it worked.
All right. Hey, another one. I always get questions recently was picking colors for my house. Right now we have a Texcote job in Pasadena, and we're picking Texcote colors there.
Right.
And the ladies came out to me, and she's really picky.
Yes.
You know, there's thousands of colors, and if you go to the Texcote website, there's just an infinite amount of colors. How do we help them out? Like, how do you do it?
Okay, so one of the big questions is a lot of times people don't know how to pick exterior colors.
They don't.
Okay. So they're scared because you figure they're going to be spending anywhere between, $5,000 to, 30, 40,000 sometimes, even more. But for their exterior, so they're totally scared. They don't want it to look like a gingerbread house.
Yeah. Or a Smurf house, the blue house.
We've done some stuff where the customers have made the mistakes. Because I like to be hands-on with colors. We put up samples, and I really like the drastic change in the house. And with just colors alone, you could do a tremendous job. So typically, what you do is you'd see when the house was built. You'd look at the neighbors.
The neighborhood.
Because you don't want to do it the same color as your neighbor.
But you also don't want to stand out.
You don't want to stand out.
I saw an Oregon greenhouse in Rossmore the other day, and that thing, it works for St. Patrick's Day, but the rest of the year you're like, what the hell are you doing?
The size of the house, you know, you don't want it too dark of a color on the size of a house, so if it's smaller. The roof, things that aren't changing on the house, windows, roof. brickwork,
sun have to
walkways.
Walkway. How about the sun and shade and trees and all that?
When you're looking at the colors, you would want to come and look at the colors in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. You'd grab color samples. So you'd grab this sample and you try to
why
grab
does
it and match it.
Texcote give you the sample like these? Why these?
These are
Why this
these are like common colors. They're very easy to the eye, classic colors, texture coating. They do have a multitude of colors, but these are just their standard colors.
Those are the wall colors, right?
These are walls. They can also come with a trim.
Oh, here's the trim colors.
They have a trim coat colors.
Well, the trim colors are bolder, right?
Yeah, they're
most
bolder.
of them real bold. You don't want to paint your house with this yellow, right?
No.
Why? Why wouldn't you do it, David?
Why? It looked like a canary.
Because we had a house in Upland, and the lady chose that, and I told her not to, and then she regretted it later.
So we've put up 5 or 6 samples. I had her sign off.
These are wall colors.
Yes. These will be a trim.
So these are like earth tony, softer.
Yeah, so if you have a type of a roof, let's say a dark roof, you might go with the blues or the grays.
Okay.
Grays and whites.
Cape Cod blue. Don't you have a funny story about the Cape Cod blue?
Oh,
Come on, tell me that story.
We're Cuban, so you're just like, hey, go get me some of the Cape Cod blue.
When is Cape Cod blue?
That was Cape Cod blue. That's Cape Cod blue growing up.
Come on, say it again.
So the Cape Cod blue.
Cape Cod blue. And your dad said you could go get it?
That was my dad going, hey, go get me some Cape Cod blue when we originally were starting doing this. But,
that's fucking funny.
So you'd get your colors from, let's say, your roofing, your windows. You'd match them up, and then you put this against it. Yeah, so if you had red brick. So sometimes I have people that have, I have a red brick and kind of a reddish or brownish tone roof, and they want to go gray and white.
Yeah, that doesn't
So
work.
they got to take that into account. Now there are some grays with the hints of reds and kind of those tones and different stuff into there. So if you can get a color, if you can get the color right, or if you can get the product right and kind of match them, like matching your clothes, that helps out a lot. So roof, windows, walls, neighborhood, the story. There's probably about 10 different things you want to look at.
That's a lot of stuff. So that's why they come to us.
That's
right?
why you usually hire somebody.
Most people don't have the experience. The lady that's a doctor up in Pasadena, what is she?
No, she's a manager.
A manager?
Yeah, she just wants us to take care of that for her.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to pick this, so that's why they get us, right?
Yeah. So
how many houses have you designed this last year?
Colors probably did 15 or 16 different colored houses.
I did 10.
And then I also do something on my iPhone where I could take a picture of the home, and then I could just, it's not the perfect color, but I could do like a little rendition,
I was
and
talking
it comes
to
out pretty nice. People
a
at least
regular
get a kind of a glimpse of what it's going to look like.
I was talking to a paint guy yesterday. He does regular bear paint.
Oh, Corey,
and he was telling
Mrs. Peel's.
Yeah, and Rossmore, and he was naming like different styles. I can't even say it.
Like mid-century, ranch. Yeah. So you have, going back to if you have a style of a home.
He hates. He's all, I hate gray right now because everybody wants gray and white. But why do people want gray right now?
You have to be careful sometimes because it's all like the contemporary. It's like the nice stuff. So I like to do a little bit more classic colors
because they last the longest.
Yeah, because our work is going to be lasting 20, 30 years. So if I'm doing something, I like to do it to where it's going to look nice now and not be too trendy. And now we do what the customer wants, obviously, at the end of the day.
Okay.
But that's how I try to do my colors, so they have some longevity behind them, so you're not replacing them.
Hey, you've been doing this a long time. I've been 7 years compared to you. You've been doing this for 30.
30 years.
Well, what's your take on the reviews of Texcote reviews? What's your take? Because I've seen some bad and I've seen some really good. I personally,
it's either 5-star or no star.
And why is that? I don't have any issues.
It's such a great product. There's a lot of salesmanship, So the first thing when you get the salesman guy out there, maybe that hasn't even worked for the company for more than a couple of months, they give him some training. Who knows? Tells them whatever. I mean, I went to a house where they were spraying that stuff over metal.
Ew, yeah.
You're not supposed to be spraying that over any metal or any of that type of stuff.
It doesn't.
And it was the texture over the metal, So even if that, it would be smooth.
But Texcote does sell metal stuff, but that's industrial. They paint
industrial. It's a different type of
they
a
paint
different
bridge.
type of a product. But my
for, like,
point
bridges
being
and
is
stuff.
they just hire a bunch of subcontractors, who knows, and they just start spraying anything.
Juan the window builder.
Juan the window guy.
And he goes and paints it.
Yeah, no, Juan the window guy. Right?
Right.
They'll call the factory up and they'll just get anybody out there to do something like that.
Well, I had a window guy that just started doing Texcote.
Yep.
And what does he know? He's a window guy.
And a lot of these guys go out of business. That's the main thing.
They go out of business.
Or they change their name.
You know what? I've had a bunch of calls. They're like, hey, can you come and repair this little thing?
Texcote repair.
I've had people call me if they could buy a gallon.
Yes.
And I can't even sell them a gallon.
Yeah,
Texcote won't, unless you were a customer and you have proof that you were a customer from them,
yes.
Then you could buy a gallon.
And you have to
Otherwise
show
you
them that the dealers, but a lot of these dealers don't even send them the warranty paperwork.
The warranty, I register everybody.
Half the time that, well, before it used to be they send it, now it's all on the email.
Yeah,
so
it's all
automated.
email. You register it. That's it. You don't get the paper no more.
No,
you don't get the paper. Everything's just registered.
It's gotten the texture coating. Texcote has gotten a bad name because of the actual installers, but we've been installing it. I go back to some of my dad's job back. You know, they're not perfect, but you go back 25, 30 years later and you don't have this, astronomical amount of peeling, but, we've gone through earthquakes and all that type of stuff.
And you use it on your own house. So.
I mean, I have it on I have a dark trim. And you can't go through the whole house where you can see an area that's peeling.
I recommend it to my friend Miguel, and he lives in Brea, and he loves it. He had his whole house
done. What does Miguel do?
He's an engineer.
Right.
He's an engineer. He
checked up on it?
He has a Class A license engineer. He works, and he checked up on it. He did his house. He loves it. He's like, this is...
Hey, so like anything, prepping it correctly, so there's a 10-step process that you would take. If you take that process, if it peels, I mean, there's... anything would have peeled from there.
I mean, if you have a plumbing leak from inside your house in the water, it's going to push it out.
Leak, yeah. I've done it to where we've sprayed it on, like, let's say, retaining walls, water coming through, fascia boards leaking behind there, earthquake cracks. Most of the time, if something like that fails, it's where it's by maybe a planter.
But do we come back and repair it?
We will repair it. Let's say
back.
a lot of companies are out of business.
What paint company would come back and repair their paint job?
There's very few companies for exterior.
That guarantee the work?
Stucco. Stucco has no guarantee.
There's no guarantee.
Regular paint, Dun Edward, all that stuff, no guarantee.
They have a customer smile guarantee on Bear. So if the color fades, they'll get you. That's it. Over 10 years or something. Right. I was like... But so what if it cracks? They don't cover that, right?
Yeah. And you have
Texcote, we cover it, right?
Yeah. So one of the bigger competitors for them are what?
Sherman Williams.
Sherman Williams. You have Dun Edward. Pratt and Lambert.
And they all have competitive stuff. Elastomeric, right?
Elastomeric,
but still no warranties. Just customer smile warranties.
Yeah. I mean,
no money back guarantees.
There's been sometimes where they put some warranties on some products, but I've never seen it like come in like a certificate or something like that.
I had some guy go the other day through the website and asked me for a gallon of paint of Texcote, but he asked me what Texcote paint price. What was it? And I was like, I can't disclose that. We're under Texcote. I can't disclose that.
No, a lot of people ask me, how much. So there is a difference between just regular painting and stucco and then Texcote pricing.
Yeah.
Right? The Texcote price, depending on what you're doing, it also depends on how much patching, depends on how big the house is. Colors don't really depend too much
on the pricing,
right? But access. That depends. Your cool wall pricing.
Give us a call next week, and if we pick up your question, I'll send you a free T-shirt. How about that?
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye bye. Bye. We're out.